So just to diagram out this kind of the framework of reproducible research I think about, typically you have some published article that you view in a journal, and that's all you get. You get everything that's in the article. You probably have some exposure to what their scientific question was, and these people went into Nature, and then there's nothing, right? And so you have you have the author who's kind of started from here and went that way, and then the reader kind of starts from over there and wants to go this way. But for the most part, in most cases, the reader can start with the article, and then they're welcome to go back to Nature and just do it again or replicate the study if they want. There's really not anything else that they can do besides read the article and be impressed. So that's the express trained in Nature. So, but really, of course, there's all this other stuff here. Right? There's this data that kind of might call it the raw data or measured data. There's stuff that happens to that data, so a specific analysis can be done. There's all this code that is involved to do that. There's results, there's figures and tables and things like that. So that all exists, but it's typically not available. And so the basic idea of reproducible research is to say, okay, well, let's just meet in the middle over here and say, let's make this stuff available. Let's make the analytic data available. Maybe make some code available, some of the pre-processing if it's important, things like that. So that's the kind of reproducibility compromise, short of replicating the whole study. So I want to get a little bit into what problem does reproducibility solve, and I think one of the things that we get from a reproducible study is we get transparency, of course. We have a better sense of what they've done. We get the data that they use, so that's available. If there's methods involved that are new, we get their methods. And we have this more kind of increased transfer of knowledge because now we know exactly what they did, not what they meant to do. In my opinion, we don't get any sort of sense of whether the analysis was correctly done. And I think the main reason is because analysis can be reproducible and still be wrong. Right? And there are many examples of this in the literature where something was totally wrong but yet fully reproducible. So just because the people use the wrong methods or they kind of treated the data in the wrong way or whatnot. So I think the fundamental question of can we trust this analysis is not really addressed by reproducibility. These things are all very important, so I think that's fine. But we still have, I think, a little bit of a problem over here. So, and one question you might legitimately ask is, does it require, if you required every study, every analysis to be reproducible, would that somehow deter people from doing bad analysis? And I fundamentally think the answer is no. So some of the problems I have with reproducibility are, so the premise of reproducible research is that, with all the data and all the code available to people can check each other, you can kind of validate someone else's analysis, and the whole system can kind of be self-correcting in the long run, right? So one problem, which I don't say here, is that the long run sometimes is too long. And then in terms of the context of the problems that you're dealing with, I think reproducibility addresses what I call the kind of downstream aspects of scientific dissemination. And I'll be more specific about what I mean by that. Meaning that it kind of only happens post-publication for the most part. And another key thing, which is important in my era, particularly in my era, is that the ideas of reproducibility kind of assume that everyone plays by the same rules and everyone wants to achieve the same goals, which is definitely not true.